Hello, my name is Monica Dietz, and today we are going to explore priority standards. I wanted to include my contact information for you, so if you'd like to follow up with me, if you have any questions after this, feel free to send me an email. So, a priority standard is sometimes referred to as a power standard. Most of my knowledge regarding this topic comes from my work with our standards-based grading group and information I learned from Marzano resources and the books that the colleagues of Marzano have published on this topic. That said, we are focusing today on priority standards and not standards-based grading. So, what is a priority standard? A priority standard is the most essential content for a grade level or a content area of study. Of course, we teach all the standards, but in an academic year like this one, where we're navigating a pandemic, we might need to identify some standards that are most important, that are priority standards. And those are standards that are most essential to our students. We spend the most time teaching them and we spend the most time assessing them. For content area, we usually look at having about 10 to 15 essential or priority standards. So you have to think about how do you know something's a priority standard? And one way we do that is it takes a team of teachers to decide. As the Diocese of Cleveland, we actually prioritized our standards for K to 2 last year, and many of our teachers are using those priority standards this year in relation to standards-based grading. The way we prioritized our standards was we had about 10 educators that were focused in kindergarten to second grade, and they met and collaborated deciding what those will be. We'll give more information on that later. But the guidance we used was published in A School Leader's Guide to Standards-Based Grading. And in order to prioritize your standard, what we looked at was certain criteria. We looked at a standard's endurance, its leverage, its readiness, teacher judgment, and assessment. I'm just going to go into what each of those terms means for a moment when you're thinking yourself about what a priority standard or what standards are your priority standards. So endurance. That's the knowledge and skills that will last beyond the class period or beyond the course. So is this standard going to stop in your grade or is it going to continue beyond your course? And if it is, it probably has endurance. We also look at leverage, which is defined as knowledge and skills that cross over into many domains of learning. So if it has crossover, likely priority. In readiness, knowledge and skills important to subsequent content. So do you need to know this in order to know the next thing that's coming? And then there's teacher judgment, okay? Knowledge of content area and ability to identify more or less important content. So my experience was as a high school teacher mostly, and then I served as an administrator. And so I am not extremely qualified to prioritize second grade standards. The better people to do that would be second grade teachers because they have that teacher judgment day to day. Now, working and leading these initiatives, I often, collaborate and work with it, but it's not a central office saying, these are the priorities. Okay, it's teacher collaboration. And then finally, assessment. If something's a priority standard, it's probably a standard that is assessed more than the other standards. So do students have an opportunity to learn that content and then have that standard assessed? I hope this gives you a good understanding of priority standards. And as we move on, we'll talk about the process in which we can prioritize our standards. Have a great day.